Welcome to Balance Basketball Academy, and today we are starting a new series. And you know what that series is called? It's in the description. It's also in the title. Breaking down ankle breakers, and today we're talking about Steph Curry and his handle. And the whole point of this series is basically to take a look at some of Steph Curry's nastiest crossovers and ankle breakers, and talk about how he was able to get the defender in that position to break some ankles, how he was able to use his body, use some fakes, use his eyes to be able to get that advantage and end up making the other defender look silly. And we're going to continue to do this with more than just Steph Curry. That's also not to say that I won't ever do a Steph Curry workout breakdown. That will probably happen at some point in the future. I just wanted to talk about something that's a little different, start a new series, get some new ideas pumping and flowing in, because I want to talk about crossovers because they're fun to watch and they're fun to break down, and I hope you guys enjoy this. For those of you who are new, my name is Jordan. I was a high school basketball player turned college basketball player turned trainer, and let's get into some ankle breakers. Alright, so we're going to spend a lot of time breaking down film in this, and for those of you who like that, this is going to be a blast. I'm going to mute some things because I don't want to get demonetized. We're going to talk a lot in this video. We're going to talk. So, let's go over the first highlight, which goes very quickly, and this is against the Celtics, I believe, in I want to say 2022. That's when it was. So, this first ankle breaker or crossover right here is against Jaylen Brown. We're going to take a look at Steph Curry is attacking to the left side. Now, there's not really a lot of directions that he can go here. He's got Jason Tatum right on his left because he's guarding Draymond Green, who is not spaced properly, but this looks like the beginning of a play, so I'm not really mad at that. Right now, we got Jaylen Brown, who is caught off guard. He's backpedaling, and he ends up reaching. That's not good. See, here's the thing. Reaching is not a bad thing as long as you're in position. And a lot of times when people reach, they're not in position. So it ends up becoming a negative thing where your coach is like, don't reach, don't reach. Well, if Jaylen Brown was in proper position, he could have an angle to actually maybe poke this ball away, but he's not. And so he reaches. Steph Curry recognizes that. Jaylen Brown way overextends. Curry goes behind the back. He's got a wide open angle to the basket and is able to finish over the help side defender in Al Horford with a beautiful little scoop floater. So, pretty simple. Somebody reaches, make them pay for it. Boom. Just a reach and teach move. Very simple stuff. Okay, so another thing right here. We're going to take a look at this move right here. Steph Curry does not get somebody on the first move or on the second move. He gets them on the third. And that happens a lot during crossover moves. A lot of times you're not going to get your guy on the first crossover you do. Sometimes you will. Great. Sometimes you won't. That just means that you need to reset, get them to react to you again, and eventually the defender will make a mistake. They might keep up with you for a little bit, but if you have a strong enough handle and a good enough ability to read the defender, you're going to win, right? Assuming you're not just crossing over forever. So, Steph Curry with the first crossover, crosses over, hesitates. Not really anything there. There's no angle to attack. Okay, behind the back, finds an angle to attack. Okay, he's got the defender on his heels. Now he's chasing him. Good. Steph Curry, one more crossover. He could have kept driving down the baseline, but he probably would have got pushed into a pull-up baseline jumper, mid-range kind of thing. And that's not really Steph Curry's shot. Steph Curry knows how to get to his shot. He knows that he wants that three-pointer. That's the golden prize for him. Now he's got that defender running with him. He's got that momentum going in the other direction. He pulls back, gets enough space, and that's all he needs to make his three-pointer. Has a big rotate out on him. And just an up and under. Very simple stuff. So, a lot of times, taller players will have less discipline, and they will jump to try and block the shot, because blocking shots is fun, and it's also something that guards can use as an advantage, because, again, they can be craftier than the big. The big thinks, okay, that guard's pump, they're not going to pump fake, right? Like, they don't stand a chance, like, I'm going to get them. A lot of times, bigs are used to going against guys that are of like height and like size, and bigs don't pump fake as much as guards do, and that catches them off guard. Literally. Let's take a look at this here. Steph Curry gets that switch right here. He gets the matchup he wants. He's faster than Porzingis, and he's going to be craftier than Porzingis, as we'll see. Makes a little crossover, finds an attack angle. Porzingis drops his hips. Curry could shoot that layup, but he probably is going to get blocked. He realizes he's got people on all sides. He decides to stop, pop, and get that shot up, and it's an and one. So very pretty shot right there. Curry realizing he doesn't have the advantage here. Even though he's gotten by Porzingis, he can't get far enough away to escape Porzingis' length, and decides to get crafty with it. Oh, another big. Again, guards cooking bigs. This is really common here. If you're a guard and you get a big switched onto you, you should be like, you should be celebrating. You should be having a little party, doing a little cha-cha in your own head when you see that, because this is the kind of stuff that can happen. You can just cook guys that are way slower than you, or again, are not used to moving laterally. Maybe they're not slower than you, but they're not used to moving laterally the way that the guards are, and keeping up with crossover moves and trying to guard the three and stuff like that. It's the best. It's the best for guards. It is. So, on Julius Randle right here. Oh, he does the Smitty. The Smitty. Okay, I will leave a little video of what the Smitty is as I'm talking right now. Basically, the Smitty is you're faking a spin move and retreat out, out of the position that you were in initially, and then you actually just keep on keeping on where you were originally going. With Julius Randle, Steph Curry tries to drive, doesn't really get the angle he wants. He's being pushed to the baseline. Or excuse me, to the baseline. He's being pushed to the baseline. He doesn't have an angle, and what he does is he fakes a retreat out to the left side. Randle, who it took everything in him just to keep up with Steph Curry that far, overextends, thinks that he needs to just run with Curry. He overreacts, and Curry gets a wide open shot. Pretty stuff right there. Like, he's fighting, and yeah, he just of it. Ooh, okay. Ooh, all right, Steph. Okay, so this one is not more bad defense, but more good offense, beating really good defense. And Steph Curry is just kind of cooking a little bit right here, trying to feel it out. A lot of times those betweens and those crossovers, you're just trying to feel out the defender. What are they doing? How are they, how are they reacting to your moves? Are they biting on any of your hesitations? Because if they do, then you can make a read and you can just go. But if not, you're just trying to get yourself in a rhythm a little bit here. What he does is he attacks, he steps back, he doesn't get what he wants because the defender comes out on him, so he crosses over. That's the counter for step backs. If you step back and that defender comes out, you just do a little drop cross, and then he steps back in the other direction, and it's so hard to guard. Ooh, okay. Okay. What Steph Curry does here essentially is he fakes a between step back, but all he does is he puts that left hand really close to the ball. Reeves bites, thinking that Steph Curry's about to shoot. Steph Curry gets him on his heels, drives, floater. And Steph Curry's little scoop floater game, it's really unparalleled. It's such a deadly combo when you put it together with three-point shooting. All of this starts with making an attack, getting the defender on their heels. He gets him on his heels a little bit, drives, and he gets the angle. It's really, really a simple move. It's just drive, get that defender to backpedal, get them a little off balance, cross over, go in the other direction. Because they're reacting to you, so they're going to have a harder time making that transition from one direction to the other than you are, because you know that you're crossing over. They don't. They have to react to that stimulus. So, yeah, Buddy Hield just honestly doesn't play very good defense there and gets completely cooked. Oh, poor Boogie Cousins. So, off the screen, we're back to the big switching on to Steph Curry. In this case, it's former teammate DeMarcus Cousins. So, Jamal Murray gets hit by a screen by Iguodala. Curry just splits between the screen. He just hits him with the little crossover. Actually, no, that is Austin Rivers. I apologize. That is Austin Rivers. And Curry gets low, gets past Cousins. So he gets lower than Cousins, and the low man wins. And then he makes that drive. All too easy. And that's another advantage that guards have, is typically they're going to be smaller than the big. And in that case, the guard is able to get lower than the big and is able to get around the big a lot quicker because of that advantage. It's easier for somebody who's 5'4" to drop into a very low lunge than it is for somebody who's 6'4" to drop into a very low lunge. Oh, right. So a lot of these end up in floaters, funnily enough, which I think is very interesting. You get by a defender, you go as far as you can. Don't settle for a 3, right? Steph Curry. This happens really quickly. Curry just does a crossover, and he literally just, it's simple. Like, he's doing this like the cooking thing, right? Where he's just doing some crossovers, trying to see if the defender bites on anything. And I believe this is Davion Mitchell does. And Curry just takes advantage of it. Even though, like, that move wasn't meant to be, like, a hardcore attack move, like throwing, you know, all of my special powers at you or anything like that. No, he was just like, oh, yeah, you know, I'm just gonna cross over. He jumps, he overextends. Curry's like, I got an angle, let's use this, and finishes a really tough shot. Nice stuff. Nice little stop and pop from Steph Curry right here. And he attacks. The big reaches instead of shifting their feet. So Wood does not do his job here. Curry stops, and notice that lead foot right there, that lead left foot from Christian Wood. Steph Curry attacks that foot. Why? Because as soon as you get by that lead foot, that defender has to open up and then start running with you. They can't just start running with you. They're gonna lose. You're gonna lose them for at least a second, and that's all you need if you're Steph Curry. So attacking that lead foot is really important. When you're a defender, you don't really want to have like a clear lead foot, because if the offensive player gets by that foot, your recovery becomes that much longer. Wood has to switch his hips right here. That takes a second of time. Curry's already driving. Now he's got to play catch up. He gets in front of Wood and backs into him. So Wood can't block his shot over the top. He backs into him to keep Wood from reaching over, almost drawing a foul. He doesn't draw a foul, but sometimes that works as a foul drawing technique. Backs into him and then extends for the finish. Oh, nice. Okay. So this is one of those that kind of gets people going like, yeah, like, wow, that was nice. This is just a simple step back. This is just a simple step back. What Steph Curry does really well is he gets people moving really fast and he changes direction. And look at all this space he created, and then the guy stumbled a little bit. I don't think he's in the league anymore. But yeah, right there. And then he just stumbles because he's like, oh, I can't keep balance with that. And then Curry's already into his shot. Oh, another big switch. Yeah, that one's just easy. The big thing here is that Bay is coming out like they're going to do a blitz or a trap, but Steph Curry's defender doesn't actually follow with. Bay continues to have that very aggressive, like, sideways position, and Steph Curry's defender's rolling out of the picture with the screener. And Bay doesn't adjust his stance at all. He thinks that his guy's going to be on the other side. He's not. Steph Curry just goes by him. It's too easy. Really, it is. And Reeves trying his very hardest to keep up with Steph Curry. This image is the perfect example of the kind of stuff Steph Curry does. He gets you so off balance, and then he just glides to whatever shot he sees fit. We'll back up a little bit, but look at Reeves' stance right there. Like, the man is falling over himself trying to keep up with Steph Curry, and Curry's on perfect balance. You are not going to see Curry off balance. You're not going to see him off balance. He is under control constantly, and that is one of the best things to his handle and his ability to get where he wants to go, is he is not the one flailing around on the court. He knows exactly which direction he's headed. So he crosses over with a little behind, pull back. Reeves is stumbling, gets too close. Curry notices the reach. Don't reach, just move your feet. It's tempting, but just move your feet, guy. And he gets cooked for it. Too easy. Nice. Double crossover moves are really, really deadly, and they're really nice. They're really smooth. They're great stuff. double crossovers, double betweens, double behinds. It's just a quick little move, right? And a lot of times it gets the defender to freeze, or they'll be reacting to the first crossover, and by the time the second comes, they're already moving in the direction that they were being told about the first crossover, and they can't react quick enough. And Lonzo is not a bad defender. He's not a bad defender at all. Steph Curry just hits him with that little crossover, and again, by the time Lonzo starts reacting to that first crossover, Curry's hit him with the second. Lonzo's foot oversteps in the wrong direction. Curry gets that little bit of space he needs and hits the three. Ooh, hesitation. So Curry is attacking, and basically he's kind of hitting the brakes on a fast break, like a semi-fast break situation. This isn't a full fast break, all five are back, but nobody's set, really. Like, you know, this is probably off of a rebound or something like that. And Curry is hitting the brakes. Jay Crowder is like, okay, he's hitting the brakes. What is he going to do? He sees that the ball is exposed, and I can see the direction of his head, and I can assume where his eyes are, but I can assume his eyes are looking at that ball right there. And he's like, all right, what are you doing, Steph? Steph hesitates, and he basically fakes a crossover. So he hesitates, lunges forward like he's about to do a crossover, but no, instead, he just keeps attacking left. Crowder is taken off guard, and boom. Oh, man. Yeah, that was mean. That was cruel, Curry. You shouldn't have done that. Come on, buddy. Another hesitation right there. Rivers is just hopping towards the screen. Life is good. Curry's like, no, I don't need that screen. Boom. He's gone. Because what Rivers is trying to do, I keep saying Reeves, sorry. What Rivers is trying to do is he's trying to get over the top of that screen as fast as he can, because he knows that it's over to his right. He knows that if he can get on top of that screen, that he can avoid that switch with a Jokic-Curry matchup. Instead, he doesn't want that. He wants to just have, the coach probably wants him to stay on Curry, so he's like, okay, get over the screen. He's fighting to get over that screen. Curry recognizes that he's overcompensating and decides to reject the screen, and Austin Rivers is left in the dust. So one of the toughest things that a defender can have to guard is traveling laterally and traveling backwards at the same time. You're going to have a really hard time with that. And so what Steph Curry does is he puts Reggie Jackson in that exact position. What he does first, coming off of that screen, Jackson's attacking. He crosses him over, heads in the other direction, so Jackson has to change directions laterally, and then he steps back. After attacking downhill, he steps back, and Jackson just can't close the distance fast enough. It's really difficult to be backpedaling, have to change direction, and then have to stop backpedaling and run in the other direction forward in order to catch up with a player. If you can make somebody change like a direction in two different ways, where you can say, okay, I'm going to attack downhill and then I'm going to attack laterally, or I'm going to attack laterally, and then I'm going to step back, or something like that. If you can shift those things around, because people can catch up with you to some extent if you're only going forward and backwards or right and left. But if you mix those two together, it's really hard to predict what's happening next. Steph Curry with the crossover and a step back. Just all too easy. He gets the guy on his heels and steps him back. And there's the same thing right there. He does it to Julius Randle on a semi-fast break situation. He attacks one way, crosses over, Randle has to switch his feet, and steps back. And he needs considerably less speed to do this than he would with Reggie Jackson, who is a lot more of a match for Curry in foot speed. So now Curry steps back, gets Sengun to come out, and then he's going laterally. He's crossing over and now going downhill and turning that shot into an and one. Very nice stuff. Again, changing direction, changing speed, right? All right. We'll wrap it up here with Curry cooking LeBron, and nothing is more humbling than watching my favorite player get crossed up by Steph Curry. So LeBron out on the switch with Curry. He's already starting a little further back than he'd want to be. He's a little out of position. Curry's got a slight edge, but not enough to drive on him. Curry crosses back over as LeBron shifts to try and compensate for him being behind. Curry is hesitating a little bit, getting a read for LeBron, hesitates, gets lower than LeBron, and drives right by him. LeBron's feet are not angled properly. LeBron doesn't cut off the drive. He's not low enough, and Curry gets right by him and around him to the point where LeBron can't chase down block him. So let's take a look at that in full speed. Curry, with that little hesitation, gets low. Nice explosion to the basket. And there's not really much you can do past then. There's not really much you can do. But with that, that's going to conclude our Steph Curry crossover video. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. And talking about ankle breakers is really fun, and it's something that I've wanted to do for a little bit. And I wanted to kind of turn this into a little series so we can talk about how do you improve your crossover, and what are the things and the kind of reads that you should look for, that these NBA players look for, using some film to kind of break that down. So this video is from Golden Hoops. That's the video that I used. You can check out that channel if you'd like. That's just, they put together a bunch of clips, so I don't want to discredit them or not give them credit or anything like that, of course. And yeah, just take a look at what Steph Curry can do, and it'll help you watch film differently a little bit, because you can understand, hey, this is how he creates this kind of space, and this is how he does this, and this is how he utilizes those matchups. And eventually, with practice, you'll be able to notice these things in real time. And I think that that is one of the best things that a basketball player can have, is to be able to recognize those reads and then start applying them into their actual game. Again, let me know if there's other players that you guys want me to handle. I don't know why I said handle. If there's other players you want me to cover in this Breaking Down Ankle Breakers series, I got a couple on my list. I'm not going to spoil who, but if you guys have some people you want me to break down, I will definitely take a look in the comments. And for those of you who are new, give a subscribe, give a like. If you're less new, say hello in the comments. I don't know. And for those of you who are unaware, I have been doing a podcast live stream on Sundays. It is called Day of Reps. And Day of Reps, really fun time. I do it at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sundays. It's also recorded, so you can listen to it or watch it after the fact, so don't worry about it. But if you want to catch it live, make sure you're there on Sunday. And for those of you who are still around at this part of the video, I want to thank you very much, and I hope you have an excellent rest of your day. Goodbye.